Hey guys, it's your main man Mike from EAKCrewProductions, and today we're going to do a working around video. What deck are we going to be working around? Necromancer the Time Lord. No, we're going to work around Macro Rabbit. Alright, so let's get into it. First I'm going to just go over some things that you should probably just know about the deck. They're like kind of rulings and stuff like that. So, Jurak Guaiba. A lot of people think this card works like Flameball Fire Dog, and for the most part it does. But there's something you need to know about Jurak Guaiba that is different than Flameball Fire Dog. Jurak Guaiba does not have to stay face up on the field to get its effect. The reason why that's important is because I've seen this before. I've seen two guys at like 600 life points, and one guy has like a Spirit Reaper in his hand and a monster that is the same strength as Jurak Guaiba on the field, and the Macro Rabbit player has a Jurak Guaiba on the field. The guy goes, oh, I'll just summon this Spirit Reaper in my hand, attack with Jurak Guaiba, or no, I'm sorry, attack into Jurak Guaiba, destroying both my monsters, and then attacking with Spirit Reaper to get that damage in, and I don't know, maybe next turn I'm gonna Lance or something like that if that needs to be done. And what happened is he goes and he attacks into the Jurak Guaiba, destroying his monster, and then the other Jurak Guaiba pops out, and he's like, what's going on, you know? And the Macro Rabbit player explains to him that Jurak Guaiba doesn't need to remain face up on the field. He just has to destroy an opponent's monster by battle. He doesn't actually have to send it to the graveyard, which means he himself does not have to be on the field either. So, completely screws the other guy. The Macro player goes, attacks over Spirit Reaper, and wins the game. That simple. He summons another monster, because the other guy does have Lance, but Lance plus another monster, not enough to save him. Anyways, Dolka. Way down here, let's talk about Dolka. Just a little thing that you should know. I'm sure like 99% of the people out there know this, but Dolka can stop monster effects in the damage step. So like, if he attacks into a Snowman Eater or a Raikou or a Night Assailant, Dolka can stop it. Just something you should know. Some people don't know that for some weird reason. Yeah, you can stop it. Okay, a lot of people just forget this one. I think this is one that like pretty much everyone knows, but everyone forgets either when it's happening or has just forgotten after learning. But Macrocosmos does have the ability to special summon a monster, and because of that, you can negate it with Solemn Warning. So if you have a warning set and you're playing a very strong field or graveyard based deck, and your opponent is going to flip that macro, and that macro can decide the entirety of the game, you might just want to flip your Solemn Warning to negate it so that you can go apeshit next turn. Let's talk about Rabbit, but not just Rescue Rabbit. We're going to talk about its interaction with Fiendish Chain. We're going to talk about Rescue Rabbit and Card D and their interaction with Fiendish Chain. So I've seen this misplay a lot, and I actually have a video on it already, a ruling video about Rabbit, but I don't have the ruling video on Card, and you'll see that Macro players are starting to run Card, two of them in their deck, just because the deck is so slow, but it runs a really large amount of traps. So they can easily like go set 3 Card, go +1, and then, hey, I drew into that Rabbit off of that Card. My turn, I draw a card. Here, let me go apeshit on you. Flip the macro, you know. So what you need to know is that you can Fiendish Chain a Card and a Rescue Rabbit if you want to, but for their effects to be negated, they have to remain face up on the field because Fiendish Chain targets a monster. It's just continuously targeting. So, but it doesn't mean that they can't activate their effects. And because when they activate their effects, there's a cost of them going to either the banish zone or to, you know, being tributed. thus no longer on the field. Fiendish Chain is no longer targeting them, meaning their effects are no longer negated. So Fiendish Chaining either of these monsters is a big waste of time. However, dropping an Effect Veiler is not, because an Effect Veiler targets the monster, and then that's it. After that, it's not a continuous target, it's a lingering effect on that monster. So they can still activate the Rescue Rabbit to banish it, but it won't get its effect. They can still send the card to the graveyard, but it won't draw 2 and go to end phase. Alright, now we're going to talk about pretty much some timing of cards, and when you should use them, and pretty much when you shouldn't use them when playing against the deck. First off, we have Bottomless Trap Hole. This card is way too good against the deck, and let's say you have Mirror Force Bottomless, and your opponent goes and summons a monster. If that monster, and you go, oh, that monster's bottomlessable, let me just bottomless it. Maybe you shouldn't. Maybe you should just wait for it to attack in Mirror Force. Because if they go into a rabbit and you have a bottomless, that's crazy. Because not only have you gotten, not only are they not on the field, and you got 2 monsters, they're not in the grave either. So it's just really fantastic. They can't Torbus it back in. They can't Avarice it, you know. But they're probably not going to be running Avarice if it's macro rabbits anyways. But it's just better. Sure, they can get it with Leviair, but then they have to use that on that. And if they're going for Leviair, they're probably just grabbing that rabbit anyways. Alright. Then we have Torrential Tribute. Now what I want to talk to you about Torrential Tribute is when you're using it against the rabbit play. So they'll go, oh, let me summon rabbit, and you might go, oh, alright, rabbit is scary, let me Torrential Tribute. And the reason why you don't want to do that is because, one second here, let me, Cavazol. Let me bring this guy out. Alright, so the reason why you don't want to do that is because the deck runs 3 of this card right here, Forbidden Lance. Or most builds do anyways. So you go Torrential Tribute on their 1 Rescue Rabbit, and they drop Forbidden Lance. They go na 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 boo boo, and then they special summon 2 of this guy, and they exceed into like this guy or Lagia. You're like, oh damn, I screwed myself. However, if they go Rescue Rabbit into 2 of these guys, and then you Torrential Tribute, for them to stop that, they have to have 2 Forbidden Lances. Is that probably going to happen? No. And even if they do drop 1 Forbidden Lance, even if they drop 1 Forbidden Lance, the other one's still going to the graveyard. And then if they don't exceed or flip it face down, which they're probably not going to do, it's going to end up going to get destroyed anyways. So that is why you need to know the torrential plays. Anyways, that's pretty much working around Macro Rabbit. We just went over a few little rulings that you need to know, things not to misplay, and some timing of your better spells and traps versus the deck. So I hope that gives you more of an advantage against the deck. I hope you know how to fight it just a little bit better. That's Michael, your main man from EAKCrewProductions. I'll see you guys later. Peace.